Today we're going to practice some Zentangle elements. Measure out about 1 inch to 1.5 inches strips across. If you're using a marker, you can try to have wax paper underneath your page so it doesn't bleed through. This column will make angled lines, about 4 to 5 lines, and then in the opposite direction, 4 to 5 lines. Repeat it all the way across. Now this Zentangle today is just some exercise elements that I'm giving you. So the more often you do them, the better you get. This next segment, draw some arches about the same size all the way across the page. Inside the arches, draw straight lines downward. What makes Zentangle relaxing is that you're basically doing simple shapes or simple designs one at a time in a repetitive motion, repeating till each one of your elements is filled in the same. Above those arches, draw some scallops, mimicking the same shape. In the inset of each arch, draw little arches. Finish that segment out by making upright little dash lines all the way across. In this next segment, draw larger arches all the way across. Straight up from the inset of that arch, draw a little dot all the way across as a guide. From your guide point, you'll be making an arch with a point at the top. Make your pattern as if you are doing assembly line shapes. So do all left sides and then come back and do all right sides. Inside that shape, make a peak or another arch inside. From the inset of the arches below, draw a straight line up to the peak. From that same inset, draw an arched line up toward the right. Do all the right sides and then come back and do all the left sides. Then in the next inset, I will go ahead and make a little spiral to be the inside of a flower I'm going to make. So do all the spirals first, then come back and do all the petals. You can make a guide by doing your first line in the center, your first petal in the middle, and then come back and do all the right side, and then come back and do all the left side of the petals. The assembly line method helps you get a consistency in your shapes. Here I decided to close up my little lines. They were going open-ended and I wanted to close them up, so I scalloped from one line to the next. The next element, start with a big zigzag across. Then make a triangle. Next in our elements is a straight line in the middle of our triangle. Starting from the top of your triangle, draw a line on either side of your straight line. Make a guide point on the middle of the inset of each zigzag. Next, we're going to make a leaf shape. Do all the right side leaves and then come back and do all the left side leaves. Then we're going to do something similar to a flower, but basically just a loop. Next, I'm just going to do some circles all the way across. The awesome thing about Zentangle is just repeating an element till it becomes a pattern. On the next column, I made almond shapes all the way across. I decided to flip my page the other direction vertically, and that made it easier for me to draw the same similar shape all the way across. Next, I'm drawing like a little slice all the way down, going back and forth from the right side, then the left side. Continue down all the way to the bottom of the almond shape. Then repeat the same pattern on each almond. Then turning your page back to horizontal, make some wavy lines all the way across. Make sure your wavy lines don't cross through your almond shape. In your next section, make some vertical columns. Turning your page back to vertical, as if each one of those lines is your base, make a triangle, making sure the point at the top of your triangle does not reach the base line. Turning your page back to horizontal or landscape, you'll draw straight lines down like little pinstripes, straight down and not crossing through your little triangle. If you'd like, turn your page again and make little triangles inside of those triangles. And then we'll continue that pattern on each triangle and make more lines to make another triangle on the inside. Next, we're going to make something similar to a wave pattern, the little spiral, making sure each connects and starting from one side of the page, that's a bigger wave, and getting smaller as we get to the other side of the page. Add more lines parallel, just kind of tracing around the edges of all those wavy lines. To change it up, finish out that segment with straight lines. Always step back and look at your entire drawing so you can decide what you want to do next. Zentangle is supposed to be enjoyable and relaxing, so have fun with it. Don't get too serious. If you make a mistake, just repeat it and make it a pattern. I hope you've had a fun time making these little elements today. I hope you can come back and join me again. Please like and subscribe. See you soon.